On this one, you may be tempted to use a calculator, and to tell you the truth, if I saw this and I was a student, I would know that I would probably need a calculator. But since I want to teach you a little bit more about adding, subtracting big numbers, I'm not going to use a calculator, and you'll find out that it actually is not that bad. So this one is a bank has loaned out 500,000, part at 6%, and the other one at 11%. So anytime we talk about interest, we need to have this in the back of our mind. Interest equals principal times rate. So I know that eventually my interest is going to be 43,750, and I know that this is going to be it's going to be loaned at 500,000 is going to be loaned, part at 6%, and the rest at 11%, and eventually they're going to get 43,750. I want to know how much it's going to be at 6%. So we know that this is going to be an interest rate at some. So we'll do the interest rate of A being the 6%, the amount given at 6%, plus the interest rate at B, which is the amount at the other one. So I know that we're going to have two accounts. So we have A and then we have B. A, we're just going to call A. Actually, we can call it X, just so people don't freak out and everybody likes the variable X. But B, how do we get it to turn into something with X? Well, we know that B is going to be 500,000. We know all together we're going to have 500,000 worth of loans. But if I subtract X, if I take 500,000 and I subtract the stuff that I've already taken from A, that will give me B. So when we end up putting this information together, I know that the interest at A is going to be my principal times my rate. So my principal is going to be X. My rate is going to be 0.06 because I need to do it in decimal because we don't want to do anything in percents. Times my principal, which is going to be X. So X is going to be the amount of A. So the amount I'm going to loan at A is going to be X. The interest rate at B is going to be my rate, so 0.11 times this right here, because this is the amount I'm going to be loaning at B. So 500,000 minus X. So if I put these two things together, this and this, we know that 43,750 is going to be 0.06x, because I know that that is going to be that, plus interest at B, which is 0.11, 500,000 minus x. Now, I need to reduce all this, so 43,750 equals 0.06x plus. Now, 0.11 is actually pretty easy to multiply because what we can do is we can do 10% and then 1%. So 10% of 500,000 is 50,000. And we're going to add another 1%, which is 5,000. So that's going to end up being $55,000 minus 0.11x. Don't forget to distribute both of those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine like these terms, and I'm going to subtract 55,000 over to both sides. Now, as we know, what I usually do is I subtract the bigger one from the smaller one, and then I deal with the sign later. So 43,750, 750, this is 7. So you end up getting 0 here. I need to borrow, so 4. This is going to be 10, but then we're going to borrow 9, and then 10, so that's 5. This is 2. This is 1, and this is 1. So it's going to end up being 11,250. And that's going to equal this guy minus this guy. Oh, make sure you get your negative because this is the bigger number. So that's going to be negative. And this is going to be minus 0.06 minus 0.11x is going to be actually 0.05x. Now, I don't like the negatives, and there's a negative on both sides, so I'm going to negate both sides. So you're going to get 11,250 and that's going to equal 0.05x. Now, I don't like the decimal, so I'm going to multiply both sides by 100. So this becomes 11250, add 2 zeros because I'm multiplying by 100, and this is going to be 5x. That way we don't have to deal with the decimal later. So when you divide, now I'm going to divide by 5 on both sides. You're going to end up getting 1125000 divided by 5. 5 goes into 11 twice, so this gives you 10. We're going to add subtract 1, bring down the 2. 5 goes into 12 twice, 10, subtract, bring down the 2. 5 goes into 25 5 evenly, and the rest of them are going to be 0, so it's just going to be 0, 0, 0. So that is going to be the amount that we're going to be loaning at 6%. And since that's the only thing it's asking, I'm not even going to find the other one. But this is $225,000, and that's how much they loaned at 6%.